I have started the recording. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Evolve Point, a Shadowverse podcast. This is our second attempt at this because I straight up deleted our previous recording and it's irrecoverable, so we have to do it again. I'm Ignideus and with me as always is my co-host Kaelan.
Hello.
Hello. Maybe it was for the best. Last time we recorded, we weren't in the best of states, so we'll just do it again.
I was so tired.
Yeah, and you have to do it right now because you're literally leaving. The moment you stop recording, you're off. So let's get to it. Okay, so since the last podcast, obviously the biggest thing that happened is that Roar of the Godwyrm came out, and I wanted to talk about what we've been playing, both pre-nerf and post-nerf.
Pre-nerf, I think both of us, we were playing Resonance Portal.
Yep.
You managed to get Grandmaster with it incredibly quickly.
Yeah, I abused that deck so hard. I got most of my climb done in one sitting with that deck, so there you go.
I took 2 days to learn the deck after you got Grandmaster. I pretty much used your deck in the 40 win streak deck and did horribly at first. And then I just did the same thing you did, got a lot of win streaks, but I didn't get nearly as far as you because I just don't really care to get Grandmaster quickly. I ended up getting to about 2,500 master points with it. And then literally as the maintenance hit, I was grinding chess and I was doing pretty well with it and lost a win streak because the maintenance ended that game.
That's so sad. You have to be an early adopter, Kaelan. Come on.
Yeah, I never really go for Grandmaster early, though.
Nah,
I just don't really find the grind to be that fun.
For me, it really depends. Sometimes I go for it early. This time I kind of did it to prove a point.
Oh, yeah. You were pretty adamant. He was, Cassim particularly was a pretty good card.
I mean, hey, it got me there very quickly. It's nice that they changed the Grandmaster system so you can do it within 3 months now, so there's really no rush.
Oh, yeah. I've only missed Grandmaster once since that happened, and that was because I couldn't read times, and I was going to get Grandmaster the next morning because I was on tilt that night, but the maintenance started while I was asleep.
That's a classic maneuver.
Yeah. Tried Dragon at the start of it for day 1 and realized pretty quickly that Ignis Dragon just cannot carry the craft right now.
Yeah, and Infinite Flame as well.
Enough.
It's like...
Why did I say Ignis Dragon? I meant Infinite Flame.
It's because you're recording with me, Ignis. So
yes.
But yeah, Dragon is really bad. The silvers and bronzes we got are horrible, and the legendaries did not make up for the loss of Drock in any way, shape, or form. So
yeah, we lost the entire buff archetype basically.
That was the only one we had basically. So
yeah.
Yeah. Well, other than that, post-nerf, I've been playing a lot of Wardhaven. It's okay. And I've also been playing Resonance Portal again, but with the Puppet package, which I think is picking up steam. So you're going to see a lot of that in the coming months. I think I got second place in JCG, so hey, there you go.
I haven't had a chance to try Puppet Portal yet, but I'm definitely going to look into it now because I'm kind of in the mood to play Portal now that I've learned Resonance. I just want to play a bit more. Swordcraft didn't really get much in this expansion. It got some Luminous cards, which are pretty good, but pretty much both legendaries don't do much for the craft. Legendary Sword Commander, the commander of the Legendary Sword Commander, Legendary Sword, it's not quite the right card for Sword to do well right now.
He's a good card in a vacuum, but in a deck where you already have Victoria's Blader and Musketeer's Vow, it's not really necessary. But, you know, one of is fine. The next piece of news is that the 6th anniversary poll results have come in. So obviously, during the 6th anniversary festivities, there were 2 polls, one to vote for a neutral legendary retrain, and the other to vote for 8 new leaders for each of the classes. Let's talk about the winners. So for the neutral legendary retrain, Alice got first place. People are nostalgic for Wonderland Dreams now, I guess. And she got first place by quite a large margin, too.
Oh, yeah, by a lot. Over 100,000 points, which is quite a lot.
And then second place, Flame and Glass, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, Flame and Glass. I am quite disappointed Flame and Glass won. And as you said, it might have been, just jokingly, people thought this would be a leader, not a retrain.
Yeah, they don't know how to read. Shadowverse players can't read. We already know this, and this kind of proves that point. Flame and Glass is already in the game, my guys. Why are we voting for her again? I don't know.
She's in rotation and will be for another year.
Yeah, and she got second place. And the first and second place are the winners, so they're going to reappear as new legendary cards in future sets. So that's Alice and Flame and Glass being the winners. Runners up, Sahakiel 3rd place, Gilnlease 4th place, and Lucifer 5th place. Again, Gilnlease I don't really understand, but the other two I get.
And who did you vote for in this one?
I voted for Kronos, Zodiac Demon, and Lucius, which sound like weird picks, but let me explain my reasoning. Lucius I voted for before he was revealed for this set, so I thought it would be cool to get a new Lucius. And then we did, so I guess I kind of win. Zodiac Demon I voted for because Starforged Legends has a really dear place in my heart, being the first set that I casted for, and really being the kickoff for me for a lot of things. So I voted for Zodiac Demon. And then I voted for Kronos because he's hot. So
yeah, Kronos pretty good looking.
No, I mostly voted for Kronos because his effect is really cool, and I thought it would be cool to get a new spin on it.
One of the only mill cards in the game, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, now we have Bahamut, right? So
yeah. And Kronos definitely would work well with Bahamut.
Can you imagine Kronos Bahamut? That would be unreal.
Disgusting. I voted for cards I didn't expect to get retrains anytime soon. Queen of the Dread Sea as my number 1 because I am an absolute Dragoncraft boomer, and I remember the Tilting at Windmills deck carried by her. Beautiful card, completely has a spot in my heart in my Shadowverse history. Technolord, because I want Machina to come back. I love Machina, and Technolord just as a base, cool card. Plays techno music when you play him.
It does. It's like that scene in Amazing Spider-Man 2 when Electro starts playing dubstep by like hitting the transistors at the power plant.
Yeah, the only good scene with Electro.
The only good Spider-Man movie.
Well, hot take. And my 3rd place was Israfil, so I kind of got that with the 3rd place winner being Sahaquill.
Yeah.
Israfil being amazing in Dragon back in the day.
You know, originally they were going to come out way earlier, but then they had to reschedule it. Some people are speculating that it might be because Flame and Glass won, so they don't want to have 2 Flame and Glasses.
Yeah, it would be a bit awkward.
You guys are to blame. Why did you vote for Flame and Glass? Let's move on to the leader polls. So for Forest, Piersai won, and then it was Hozumi and Yggdrasil in 2nd and 3rd place. I voted for Hozumi, so I'm pretty happy about this.
I voted for Noxious Elf because I never noticed until the leader poll. She is smug as hell, and I am weak for that.
Yeah, that's fair.
PSI won with an incredibly close margin on Hozumi. We could have lived in a world where Hozumi won, our little raccoon girl, but instead we get our speakers peaked and ears ripped out.
Yeah, if you're playing on the Japanese voices, you might want to switch to English if you're running into a lot of Piersais, because in Japanese, Piersai screams in all of her lines, whereas in English, she's like normal, so there's that.
It's absurd.
For Sword, Mars won 1st place, and then Octris, and then Tactical Dog. I voted for Dog.
Yeah, I voted for Dog. I wanted the Doggo.
Yeah.
Giant Doggo.
There was a bit of controversy with the Sword one, because a lot of people said, why do people keep voting for Beast Leaders? Who even likes Beast Leaders? Guess what? I do! So I voted for Tactical Dog, and I'm pretty sure you do too, Kaelan, right?
Yeah, I like, I'm kind of over every leader just being a waifu.
Yeah, same.
So I generally avoid voting for waifus. Unfortunately, I did give a couple of waifus votes this leader poll, just because I feel like this year we had really weak options for a lot of crafts.
Yeah, some of them, like, none of them really stood out for me, but hey, there you go. There was also drama where Kagemitsu wasn't even close, but, you know, that doesn't really surprise me.
It's not close. Mars came back after 5 years with a garbage card and somehow won.
Still won, yeah, even though the leader will look horrible if they use this art, because it's just going to be her back. Faroon, Eleanor won, and then Tetra, and then Riley. Insane that Tetra is yet again the biggest L taker in the history of Shadowverse.
I feel so bad for Tetra.
She just can't win. Like, her sisters are already leaders and she just keeps losing.
We're both far enough in the story to know Tetra's a much better character than Eleanor.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how Eleanor could win with almost 15,000 votes more than Tetra.
I guess it's just an aesthetic preference thing. Maybe the Japanese audience is just like Eleanor. I don't know. Her card art is pretty good. I do like Tetra's character more, though. I agree with you there. I personally voted for Burgent just because it's my card and I like her. And I thought it would be funny if the onions were in the Evo animation, but
Oh, that would have been excellent.
Right? Yeah, but she didn't even get close,
Yeah.
so rip.
I gave it to Sacred Bird of Wisdom because I think it would have been funny to just have a bird for a leader.
Yeah, would have been cute. A bird with a hat.
Yeah, he's got a little hat.
Yeah, that's great. I agree with you. I really disagree with all the people who hate beast leaders. They seem to think that nobody uses them, but I use them all the time, so I don't know what they're talking about. Next up is Dragoncraft. First place, Romelia. Second place, Celestial. Third place, Ocean Spirit. From our first recording of this, I believe you voted for Romelia, right?
Yes, absolutely. I love the uniform and the militarist aesthetic, as well as Romelia being a pretty good card.
There's not a whole lot of cards with that aesthetic. There's Romelia, there's
Beast Dominator is the other major one.
I don't really understand why she's a dragon card. Is she a dragon?
Yeah, she's got a little dragon brooch.
That counts!
Yeah. Yeah, let's go with that.
I mean, to be fair, it's not like it really matters. Dragon has had fish, it's had whales, it's had birds in it. It doesn't really matter.
Speaking of fish, I am surprised Ocean Spirit got 51,000 votes. That's actually a lot from a pretty irrelevant card. I actually believed Celestial Dragoon would take it because she is an amazing buff card, mainly because she's unique in the fact she buffs attack of the deck. Nothing else does that.
I was in between Celestial Dragoon and Sacred Springs Dragon. I went with Sacred Springs in the end because one, Celestial Dragoon has the same problem as Mars, where that it would just be all back, and that'd be weird in the leader portrait if they go with the same art. I ended up going for Sacred Springs Dragon because I thought that the Evo art would be insane with that card, like with the onsen aesthetic and the Sakura petals and stuff. That'd be so cool.
He is a big boy.
He is a big boy, but he also has a problem in the fact that he has no distinguishable features to speak about for a leader portrait, so I get why he didn't win. For Shadow, I think to nobody's surprise, Kernunos won with a huge margin, like 150,000 votes compared to second place's 40,000.
And second place and third place almost tied. It was that far ahead.
And they all belong to the same deck because second place is Susie and third place is Skeleton Raider, so there you go.
It's good to see Skeleton Raider got so far up there. People not sick of the voice line.
Yeah, I'll sunder you.
I'll sunder you.
You think he'll say it on Evo? That'd be pretty good.
Oh, that would be amazing.
I voted for... Who did I vote for in Shadow? I don't even remember. Oh, I voted for Nicola, of course. I wanted Nicola because he's maybe my favorite story mode character so far.
Got to get some Machina love in there and Machina leaders so that the repair mode actually does 3. Wait,
yeah,
that's
of course.
not how it works.
Of course. Repair mode on a Machina leader heals 3. We all know this. That is not false information. You can look it up.
Absolutely not fake news. Look it up. I voted for Chaotic Doom because he's kind of cool looking with the dead goat skull, speaks normal voice lines.
I think Chaotic Doom looks like ass, to be honest with you. But hey.
Yeah, but like
different strokes.
He looks like ass in a good way.
He looks like ass in a good way, just like Mars. Okay, going to Bloodcraft. Again, no surprise. Bloodsucker of the Night took the dub here.
Toho Girl took it. And 1 vote off 88888 votes.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, it's 88889 votes. Second place is Valneric, and third place Room Service Demon. I voted for Valneric. I thought the Evo animation with Valneric would have been insane with all the wings coming out. But I knew that Bloodsucker was going to win. I was fighting for second place here.
Yeah, I didn't realize second and third were so close, but there's only 500 votes apart. I think most of the Omen retrains did pretty well in the polls. Yeah, they almost all came second.
Haven, first place Holy Saber, no surprise. Double the votes of second place, who is Wilbert, and then third place Neckbet.
I voted for Neckbet because I love the Egyptian aesthetic, but I am not unhappy with Holy Saber winning. I think that helmet, the mask, her entire aesthetic, I vibe with. Kind of looks like a Saber clone. I like it.
If they go maskless for the leader portrait, I'll be so sad.
I'm perfectly fine with Wilbert losing. I generally avoid voting for waifus, but Wilbert is not my aesthetic.
I also voted for Neckbet. I love the Egyptian aesthetic, like you said. All right, and finally, Portalcraft. Shion took first place with Maisha in second and Magna Saber in third. Lots of surprises here. I knew Maisha and Shion would place well, but I thought Maisha would be first and Shion second.
But I guess the artifact mains over in Unlimited have been playing Shion for years now, and they just really wanted a Shion leader more than Maisha.
That's fair. She looks good. She looks good. The reason I didn't vote for Shion is just because she looks too Haven to me in aesthetics. Like, it doesn't
Yeah, I can
feel
see
Portal.
it.
I'm surprised that Magna Saber plays so well too, because Magna Zero just got in as a leader too.
They are different characters, but Magna Mecha kind of like we got one. Do we need more?
I'm not surprised that my vote did not even get close. I voted for Monolith Creator, and I might have been the only person.
I voted for Genesis Artifact because I wanted more Artifact leaders, and the Lamp Girl doesn't count.
My guy, Genesis Artifact is like a Blender cube in
Yep.
in the portrait.
Geometric shapes.
It's literally just a shape. It'll be such a weird leader. I guess I'll be fine though. All right, well that is the poll. The runner-up is likely to be the highest voted, and then 2 males and then 1 non-human. So it's probably going to be Hozumi, Wilbert, Raider, and Dog as our runner-up leaders.
That's pretty poggers, not gonna lie.
That is pretty poggers. 2 of the things I voted for are in there, and the other 2 I don't really mind, so. Next piece of news, maybe the most milquetoast piece of news of the day. Great hype, by the way, by me. It's Light Puzzles Part 3, so more puzzles have been added in the Shadowverse X Shadowverse Flame collab. Also funny that Shadowverse can collaborate with itself now. It's gotten to be that big of a property. And if you clear all the puzzles, you get a Draconier Emblem, which is a very, very small reward, but hey, there you go.
I think the real reward is figuring out the puzzles yourself instead of just going over to Jeff's YouTube channel and watching the solutions.
I agree with you, but you know what I'm going to do after this podcast is Roar of the Godwyrm Victory Rewards event is currently underway. We all know this. If you go play on ladder right now, ranked ladder, you can score some chests with a chance of Ultimate Bahamut cosmetics.
Ultimate Bahamut sleeves and emblems. You got a couple days left to get them. Pretty easy to get. They'll come up in the silver armored chest, and just win a game and get it.
I think it's kind of crazy how the times can vary on when you get your chests. Some people get them all in a row. Some people take literally hours to get them. Do you think this system works, or would you rather it be more fixed when you get your chest?
I think I would rather it be a bit more fixed, like at most 3 wins you must get it, because I've had days where I've gotten them in like 7 games, and a couple days ago it took me 4 hours to get the last chest.
Jeez. Finally, on the news here, the known bugs list was updated. Not a whole lot of interesting things on there, but there was one that caught my eye. Apparently, the AI, when you fight against a computer enemy, they can just cheat and use the card Price of Magic to banish anything. Usually Price of Magic is a 3 play point Earth Sigil that banishes a 2 defense or less follower, if I'm correct. But the AI can just use it as a Jupiter, I guess.
Yeah, Price of Magic was actually played back in the day too. If only it was this good.
Shoutouts to Price of Magic finally being back in the spotlight after 5 years of irrelevance. It's kind of crazy. I wonder how a bug like that even happens.
The AI just hits different sometimes.
Yeah, they're evolving. They're becoming sentient. All right, it's time for everybody's favorite segment, especially Kaelan's, the Esports Corner. Wee woo, wee woo. We got 2 JCGs that were played, one pre-nerf and one post-nerf. Now, pre-nerf on July 3rd. And shoutouts to Jif, as always, for compiling these stats. The winner was Dirt, Rune, and Flaming Glass Shadow, but Resonance was the most played, with 11 of the top 16 players bringing it in their lineup, and 3 of the top 4 players bringing it in their lineup, which is kind of crazy, and showing the popularity of the deck even in its early state. Post-nerf, we just had one on July 6th, where Dirt, Rune, and Flaming Glass Shadow won again, so, you know, kind of scary that maybe the meta is going to settle there. But Resonance, even though they got hit by the Flaming Glass nerf, still took 2nd place. Kind of crazy.
Resonance just overcame the loss of Flame and Glass, and I could see that happening easily. Kasim wasn't affected, and he's still a pretty amazing card.
Still very powerful. And then, of course, this new deck uses Orcus as a substitute, running the Puppet package instead of the Flame and Glass package to have a powerful tempo play on turn 6. So, yeah, I've been playing that a little bit on ladder, and it's been doing well for me. I am worried about Earthright Runecraft, I'll be honest. The fact that they keep winning JCGs, they keep getting away with it.
I think the most important takeaway from both JCGs is that Dragon and Sword are dead right now.
In a ditch, yeah.
Yeah, not doing well, and those are basically my 2 mains.
At least Sword is playable. in rotation. Not great,
Yeah.
but playable. Dragon is in the dumpster.
I think Cygames could fix this by simply giving Infiniflame Dragon Storm. Yeah,
of course. I agree, and nobody should disagree. The next Shadowverse weekend is happening on July 9th. It's the Pacific time zone, and it's the Take-Two format, so sign up for that if you're keen. And finally, this is a new piece of news that wasn't in our last recording. Fellow caster, I don't know what happened to me, I just can't speak anymore. Fellow caster and friend of the show, East, has started a new thing on his Twitch channel called Shadowverses, where he invites a few competitive players on to play a long series of games, where he tests out 2 decks head-to-head and sees how the matchup really goes when piloted by really good players. So I thought that was a super cool idea, and I wanted to shout it out. So hey, check it out at East_ML. The first one just happened. It was Glow versus Keo from Team Mana Surge. Glow was playing Earthright Runecraft, and Keo was playing the new Burial Rite Aggro Shadow. And Glow absolutely kicked Keo's ass. It was kind of insane to see. Yeah, Dirt Rune, man. It's a powerhouse. Okay, let's move on. Main topic. Obviously, we've been hinting at it all throughout the episode. We've been... What did I say last time? We've been blowing on the urethra.
Oh no.
Throughout the whole recording. Now it's time to finally dive in and deep throat. It's the nerfs, obviously.
Hello.
On July 5th, Shadowverse landed an emergency nerf only 5 days into the expansion. Flame and Glass Duality changed from a 7 play point 7/7 into an 8 play point 6/6. And Augmentation Bestowal, the Portalcraft spell, was limited to only 1 copy in the unlimited format.
I mean, hello, what was that intro? Augmented Bestowal should have been limited years ago. I have a little list of cards that every craft just needs removed from playability, for instance, D-Shift and Phoenix Roost. Augmented Bestowal was the card for Portal that I want removed from the game. Even Unlimited should have limitations for its health and safety, and Bestowal was actually able to create a technical first turn kill in Unlimited nowadays.
Robopup plus Augmentation Bestowal could literally end games turn 1, turn 2, which is kind of insane and should not be allowed.
I'm absolutely glad it's been limited to 1, but I don't think they went far enough.
Yeah, you think it should have just been removed altogether?
I think it should have been sunset to casual.
I think it's kind of crazy that it took this long for Augmentation to get hit because they hit Acceleratium. But Augmentation is way stronger than Acceleratium, so I was kind of confused about that. I used to be of the mindset that Unlimited should just be a place where anything can run free. But I've changed my tune on that recently since talking with more people who play Unlimited and who really do enjoy the format. The data of the unnerfed cards is in the game anyway, right? Because of legacy decks that comes back every once in a while. So they should just let us play true Unlimited with no nerfs, no limitations in private matches and have that be the way for old players to relive the glory days. Meanwhile, have Unlimited, the actual ranked ladder, be a curated experience. That's my take.
Yeah, if the rewards from Unlimited and Rotation are effectively indistinguishable, you can get rankings in either, then Unlimited needs to have a bit less Wild West in it.
I think that they should honestly check up on the health of Unlimited more often, because there's still a lot of problem decks in there. And I would like to see more proactivity in terms of balance updates in that format. Now, Flame and Glass, huge change. I think it's kind of a shame the thematic sense was lost.
I absolutely echo that.
The nerf really does hit Resonance Portal quite hard, because before they would be able to land a huge board clear plus playpoint recovery on turn 7 alongside 3 Ewins. Now having to wait an additional turn, not only is it harder to get to turn 8, obviously, when your opponent's also trying to get their win condition off as soon as possible. But it's not impossible to do double Flame and Glass turn 8, where you could before in its 7 play point state, because it still only recovers 6 play points on the double fuse. Unfortunately, it's still pretty much as good as ever in Evolved Shadowcraft.
I've heard some things that it might actually make Shadow a little bit more consistent with Flame and Glass being 8 now.
Yeah, because it matches the cost of Skeleton Raiders, so if you sink a Raider early game with a Call of the Great Arm, you don't have to worry about maybe rezzing it. It's a 50-50 chance now you can res the bigger body. I actually have had that happen to me, and it is frustrating, for sure. I think it's kind of crazy that they nerfed Flame and Glass in the way it's supposed to be played, but left it basically untouched in the way that Cernunnos cheats it out.
That is quite strange, and I don't really like the way they nerfed Flame and Glass. I think the real problematic aspects were either the Storm being available to every craft, or the playpoint recovery.
Flame and Glass is a very powerful card, don't get me wrong, but I really would have preferred to see a Cernunnos nerf, so that maybe she only resurrects Shadowcraft followers.
Yeah, that would have made her more thematically consistent.
And a Kasim nerf.
I think when it comes to nerfs, you shouldn't be just nerfing a card like Flaming Glass in this way. That she can still, in the future, one day, in a couple years, come back and be a problem again. And looking at Kasim right now and Cernunnos, you can see they will be problems in the future again. They are limiting design space just by their effects.
Like, Cernunnos being able to always res and cheat out a huge follower is such a powerful effect that's probably going to be relevant the entire time she's here. Meanwhile, Kasim can invalidate many board-based decks just by being played early. I think it's likely that the Flame and Glass duality nerf happened because they saw this is just speculation, but they saw in the JCG that Flame and Glass Shadow and Flame and Glass Portal effectively were the top 2 decks by a huge margin. So that might have played a part in it. But I think it affects Resonance way more than it affects Shadow, first of all. And I don't think it really got to the heart of the problem. So while I'll take the nerf, I am not 100% happy with the nerf either.
Cygames have proven that they have the statistics for everything. They know exactly how many Flaming Glass have been played over the last week. They probably saw a spike between like day 3 and 4 when the deck really exploded, and just hundreds of thousands of Flaming Glasses getting played, ending games, and they could see that was the problem card.
Most of them played by me.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying it's really funny or crazy how Flame and Glass got nerfed when Portal was able to use it, but not when Shadow was able to use it. I think it's very likely that Flame and Glass Shadow is just not good on ladder because it's harder to play. So the numbers show that it's not as effective as it is in a competitive setting. You know what I mean? Like, regular players do not play Flame and Glass Shadow as well as competitive players do. Meanwhile, regular players are playing Resonance Portal very effectively.
I've actually heard some pro players saying that Dirt Rune is the real sleeper of the expansion. People just aren't playing it right, and that's why it hasn't been dominating the ranked meta.
Anyway, that's just our thoughts on the nerfs. I think we both kind of agree. We're happy that there is a nerf, but we're not 100% satisfied with the way it was handled.
I would love to see just a nuclear ban wave one day where a bunch of cards are removed from Unlimited, lots of balance changes to try and bring the game into a more healthy position.
Hey, in our next balance update, can we buff Kotaro Kojuro or whatever his name is, the silver we got that doesn't do anything?
Literally, who?
Well, that's going to be it for this episode of Evolve Point. Kaelan, thank you so much for re-recording this episode of me after I accidentally deleted it. I'm glad that I got you in the 40-minute window you were available. Hey, if you liked this episode, you can listen back to old episodes on my YouTube channel, Ignideus, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just look for Evolve Point, a Shadowverse podcast. I've been Ignideus. That's been Lord Kaelan, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.